It didn't feel like they were coming from a place of superiority. It was just like, let's talk and hang out and tell you what we do. And hey, if we can create a partnership, awesome. If not, like, we can still grab a beer. So it was great. Cool. Well, my name is Casey. I am from California, from the Bay Area. I currently live in Southern California, LA area. I currently work actually at a homeless shelter in LA. We work with homeless youth, finding them permanent housing once they're off the streets, and we work with them in various capacities. But my specific role is finding them permanent housing in the LA area. Real estate for me has been a lot of like trial and error, figuring out what that looks like. For a while, it was like, do I want to get my real estate licensed and be an agent? And so I went through that process and got licensed, and then realized, like, I don't think I just want to like represent buyers and sellers. That doesn't seem like exactly the avenue I want to do. And then stumbled upon Bigger Pockets podcast, which I know is very well known in the investment community. And that really kind of set me up on a good trajectory towards like, okay, great. Like, what does it mean and what does it look like to buy properties and have them be like rentals? Like, that's always been, after doing all the research and kind of learning and diving in, like, that is my goal and strategy is to own rentals. So I started going to a real estate investor meetup in Long Beach, California. And I went to two, I've been to more, but I went to the first one and it was just like, I think there was 4 or 5 of us. It was great. We just got to chat. It was really casual. And then the next week is actually, and I didn't know this, but the following week was when Evan and his brother were coming to California to do the kind of a tour type thing and visit various meetups and people. And so that following week is when he came. And like I said, the first time I went, it was like 4 or 5 of us. The next time the room was there was probably like 40 people in this tiny little taco shop in Long Beach, California. And I was still relatively new to all of this and didn't really, fully understand what. And they started explaining like, oh yeah, we're wholesalers in Indianapolis, and just started talking about their business, and their energy was awesome, and they were just 2 cool dudes, and they were passionate about Indianapolis and investing, and talked about all of the people that they work with, especially in California. And I did a lot of research in Indianapolis and, found, wholesaling companies and other real estate investment companies. And for the most part, I was put on a list and kind of just email blasted every once in a while, or automated texted, which I do not like. There's tons of content and businesses and all that coming at you in the investment world. And so it was really nice, I think, to have their them in person come and talk to us. And it's like, oh, they flew from Indianapolis to California just to like talk. And so afterwards we were all just hanging out and eating and grabbing drinks. And I just, sparked up a conversation with Evan. We were just chatting, and I got to tell him a little bit about, my situation. It's like, I was kind of recently graduated from college, didn't have a lot of money, but I had an uncle who like wanted to get into real estate. And so he had given me kind of a number of what we could work with. And so Evan and I were talking about that. He was like, okay, cool. Like, with that amount, like, let me put you in contact with this hard money lender. And so he made kind of an email introduction and introduced me to them. And that's how I was able to secure funds, essentially. Then what was really great was that Evan was like personally emailing me and texting me with different opportunities, different housing, different properties that fit within my criteria that we were discussing about. And so saying like, hey, I think this could be a good project, a good first project. Like, it's a low rehab amount. Like, you're going to buy it right. It's in a good neighborhood. Like, we'll do this, and this. And he sent all of the data and the statistics with it. And he was like, let's hop on a phone call and talk about it. Like, no pressure, but like, I think this could be a good one. I mean, he could sell a property like that, if he wanted to, and he would just throw it on his list and would sell it. But the fact that he like went out of his way to send several to me. Yeah. At one point he just presented one to me, and everything worked out within the numbers that I had, within the criteria that I was looking for. Like, it all made sense. And so, I decided to to pull the trigger. And what's cool about Mainstay too is that they do their renovation work in-house, just because they have their team and they know what it's going to cost. And so that's all just immediately built into the cost and numbers. So that was really helpful, especially for like a newbie investor and someone doing their first project. We pulled the trigger on this property on Gladstone, and we bought it for less than 55,000, 54.9. The rehab was super simple. It was like $6,000. And so then we rented it out, put a tenant in, and actually last week, 2 weeks ago, was the 6-month period where we were able to refinance into a traditional mortgage and get out of the hard money, the private money. And Mainstay knew it was my first project. And so they were like, yeah, we can, it's relatively straightforward, but even so, like, we're willing to just walk with you along like this whole thing. And, you know, you don't have to worry about feeling like you don't know what you're doing or you're confused. Like, if we need to, we'll hold your hand. But also if I think you'll be fine. Like you're competent enough.